Hey everybody, this is Joe from Psych Made Simple. This is where we talk about everything personality, psychology, anything in that general area. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. I'd be happy to make a video about it. Today, as I promised in my previous video, we're actually going to take this gamer motivation quiz, and you can see my gamer motivation profile, and I'm going to talk through the questions. So, start with my gender. How old am I? Oh wow, you guys are going to find out how old I am. In a typical week, how many days do you spend playing at least 30 minutes of video games? For me, this is probably like 4 to 5. If you ask my wife, it might be 6 to 7. But yeah, I do play pretty regularly, in the evenings after work is done. Would you consider yourself to be, I would say like mid. I'm not someone who's super hardcore, plays every new game that comes out, or is super competitive in any games, but I do enjoy it. Typically play on the console. I have an Xbox and a Switch. So let's Yeah, I don't even my Switch, I don't really play handheld, so I'm just going to click console. Sometimes I play on my PC, but not even super commonly. Most recent games that I have enjoyed playing. I'm going to put, right now I'm playing Persona 5 on my Xbox. So I'm going to put that down. Let me see if they have Persona 5 Royal. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Persona 5 Royal, that's a game I enjoy. I'm trying to think of other games that really feel like would fit my specific profile. Well, let's just put some of my favorite games on here that I've played recently. Elden Ring. That is going to be one of my favorite games of all time. I love it. And let's go with my actual favorite game of all time, which is Elder Scrolls, not Skyrim. I do love Skyrim, but Oblivion. That's my favorite game of all time. A game that I'm currently enjoying, and a game that's getting up there for my favorite game of all time, but I have just more nostalgia for Oblivion. Are you currently playing any web, mobile, tablet games? No, I don't really play any kind of tablet games or mobile games, anything like that. I will say web games. Let's see if they count World of Warcraft. So I do play that every once in a while, but World of Warcraft. Well, they're saying a classic port. Let's not put that. Let's not put that, because I think they're more intending like mobile games or Facebook games, stuff like that. Any other games you enjoyed playing recently? We'll skip this because I already went pretty comprehensive on that one. How important are the following game elements when you play games? Taking the time to practice and master a game. It's an interesting question, because I do feel like I usually enjoy the process of getting better at a game, such as, with Elden Ring or something like that. Just being able to master a certain weapon or certain, builds that I'm making. So I'm going to say very important, but it's not like, not extreme. Elaborate storyline. That's interesting. I mean, I don't need it to be elaborate. I don't like that word elaborate, because I feel like it could be a simple but very profound storyline. So, but I feel like I do value the storyline, so I'm going to say somewhat. Getting every possible star trophy unlocked. This is not at all important to me. This actually really frustrates me about some games when there's just like an overload of everything. Maybe I should say slightly, because like, for example, with Persona 5 right now, it wasn't that hard to get all the achievements, so I went out of my way to do that a little bit, so I'll have to admit it's slightly important. Pretending I'm someone or somewhere else. This isn't the most important thing to me, but I do enjoy that immersion, getting to make choices, things like that, so I'm going to say very important. Discovering offbeat or unconventional ways to play the game. I do enjoy this. It's not like my number one thing that motivates me to play games. I don't try to, break them every time I'm playing a new type of game, so I'm going to say somewhat important, but I do find it interesting. Game at the highest difficulty level. I actually usually don't do this. I used to, but I think I just realized that sometimes it's just not that fun to play it at the hardest difficulty level, so I'm going to say slightly, because I do like challenging games. Elden Ring, for example, but yeah, I'm just going to say slightly. Accumulating large amounts of in-game resources or currency. I mean, I need to have some kind of like, specific thing I want, but it's not like getting the currency excites me at all. So, acquiring powerful weapons and artifacts. That is a really good feeling when you get some kind of powerful weapon or artifact. So, I'm going to, again, say very important and save the extremely for something that really clicks. Making an effort to get every collectible in the game. Don't care. Getting to know all the main characters and their backstories. Now that is something that I do really like. I don't know if I can necessarily say extremely, because sometimes, if there is a certain character that's kind of boring, I won't. But actually, I'm going to say extremely, because I do really like getting into the backstory. So I feel like that really clicks with what I like about games. Taking on difficult challenges that make... Yeah, I'm going to say extreme, especially after getting into Dark Souls and Elden Ring and stuff like that. I do really enjoy that aspect. Having many customization colors, I'm going to say not at all. Don't really care about that. Becoming as powerful as possible. I do like gaining power in a game, but it's not like I need to be like Giga Chad, like most powerful characters. I'm going to say somewhat important. Dominating other players. Yeah, I'm not really a competitive... when I do get competitive, it's like a little too much, so I just avoid getting competitive. So I'm going to say not at all. I don't need to dominate other players. I don't really play PvP very much. Characters with interesting backstories and personalities. That's exactly what I love about games. Completing all possible missions, no. I'll skip a mission if it's not interesting. So, yeah. How much do you enjoy the following game elements? So we're into a new section. How much do you enjoy the following game elements and activities? Hey, and let me know in the comments if you're taking the quiz as well. I'm about halfway through. If you're enjoying this, like and subscribe. Hopefully you enjoy this content. And let me know if, I should do more gaming-related stuff. I'm happy to do that from some kind of psychology angle. If you have any thoughts about that or any questions, happy to answer that in the comments, as I said. So being an agent of chaos and destruction. I usually try to be the good guy in games, and that's how I'm interpreting this. I'm going to say not at all. I used to maybe enjoy a little. There might be certain circumstances where it could be interesting, but not really how I play. Gameplay that requires long-term planning and strategy. I do enjoy this, so I'm going to say enjoy a lot, but I feel like I'd have to be into like strategy games, like 4X, like Civilization type games for me to say enjoy a great deal. And that's not really what I play, but I do like that element of games. Taking on the role of another character or person. I do like that role-playing aspect. For example, being Shepard in Mass Effect, getting to choose things. Fun fact, I actually named my character Commander one time, so that in Mass Effect, so that his name was Commander Shepard, and then when they were saying Commander Shepard, they were just saying his full name, right? But I do like being able to make those choices and kind of immerse myself there. So I'm going to say enjoy a great deal. Helping other players. When I do play co-op, cooperative games, I do really enjoy that. I think it's fun to, in World of Warcraft, give some lobies, some runs through dungeons, stuff like that. So I'll click that. Gameplay with lots of blood and gore. It's not like I need, I think, Chainsaw and Gears of War, kind of fun, but nothing that's too, like, it's not like if it has blood and gore, I'm going to really enjoy that. But I'm not going to say not at all, because I do like, a good combat, violent video game, not going to lie. Gameplay with constant action and excitement. I do enjoy that. I can't say I don't, but I can't say enjoy a great deal, because that's not exactly the type of games that I play, so I feel like it wouldn't make sense for me to say, oh, I enjoy that a great deal, because I've never played Doom. I tried, what's that Bethesda game that is like really action heavy, similar to Doom? I tried one, Rage 2. I tried that, and it wasn't really for me. So maybe I'll say enjoy somewhat. Working towards a common goal with other players. I do enjoy that a lot. Defeating the Lich King in Wrath of the Lich King, that was one of my greatest... It's like one of those life achievements that I'll just never forget. I know that I'm not very hardcore, because a lot of people beat the Lich King multiple times or beat whatever it is multiple times, but yeah, I'm going to say enjoy a great deal on that. Gameplay that is fast-paced and intense. That goes back to that question, 2 questions ago. I'm going to say enjoy somewhat. Blowing things up. It's not... I'm going to say not at all. Not that I don't, but I don't go out of my way to do that at all. Gameplay that requires careful decision-making. I do enjoy that a great deal. Going up against other players in duels or matches. Sometimes it's fun, so I'm going to say enjoy a little, but as I said, I'm not very much of a PvP type of guy. Competing with other players, again, it could be fun, but yeah, grouping up, enjoy a great deal. Gameplay that requires quick reaction times. No, I do like. I'm team turn-based, but I will say Elden Ring and stuff. I do really enjoy becoming a master at that, so I'll say enjoy somewhat. Actually, you know what? I'll say enjoy a lot. It's a little different than like something that like Call of Duty that you just need to like kill someone right away. It's not that, but I do like that mastering the combat and in that sense, feeling like you have that really quick reaction time, knowing when to roll, stuff like that. Being immersed in another world or place. I do enjoy that a great deal. Guns and explosives. I mean, it's not that I don't, but it's not like, ooh, gotta blow stuff up, Gameplay that requires a lot of thinking and planning. I do really like that. Again, I might have to say enjoy a lot because I do feel like when they're saying a lot of thinking and planning, that's really implying like it's, a Civilization type game. But just if it's, some kind of RPG where you really have to plan out your turns and stuff like that, Fire Emblem, Persona, Final Fantasy, I enjoy those. How often do you do the following things? Put considerable time into customizing. I usually just skip. Like, I don't totally skip, but I'll sometimes skip character customization or just not go into the weeds. I won't go into the sliders, I'll find a preset that I like and adjust a couple things, then I'm good to go. Explore the game world just for the sake of exploring it. I do like that idea. A lot of times I get caught up in, the Ubisoft type games with just the map with a bunch of icons on it and going to the next icon. But I do like the idea of like just exploring the open world, not to get to some next icon, but just to see what's there. So I'll put often, but it's not like I often get trapped by not doing that. I wish I did it more. Try out many different things to test what the game world lets me do. I do like doing that, but again, I feel like this is getting at, the people who are like builders in Minecraft. Like that's not really how I play, but I do sometimes enjoy that. Primarily focused on increasing your stats or level. I mean, sometimes I fall into this, but it's not like I'm like I need to be level 100, so I'm going to say sometimes. Put a lot of thought and effort into the character creation process. Rarely. Usually I just make it brief. Study other players to improve my own gameplay. I'll do this. I'll watch YouTube videos, usually like more so after I finish something. So I'll say sometimes, not all the time. Experimenting with objects in the world just to see what happens. I'm trying to think of, I think this is getting into that. I'll say sometimes again. It's getting into that experimental element. Okay, so it's asking my email. I'm going to cover this up real quick. Oh no, it's asking for passwords too. Jeez. You guys are not, you're getting my face instead of let's see. Okay, here we go. So let me move it back here so you don't see my password. Okay, apparently I'm a ninja bard. I did not expect this. It's very interesting. Let's see. Primary dominant player type is ninja, but you also lean towards a secondary player type of bard. So ninjas seek out difficult challenges that blend strategic decision making, fast pacing, and competition. They see video games as places to test their skill and wits against other players. You know what? I would subtract the against other players part. As I've talked through, I'm not as much of a PvP guy, but you know what? I think the rest of it really describes why I love Souls games, Elden Ring, stuff like that. Not that I need to play the hardest thing ever, but I do enjoy that overcoming overcoming a obstacle element of games. And bards are team players who want to chat and interact with other players in the game worlds that are rich with lore. That's actually a great combo of things. So they want to interact. That's what I've talked through with World of Warcraft of enjoying grouping up, helping other people out, but also the world's rich with lore, stories, discovery, that kind of stuff. I really like that. I really identify with that bard element. So here's what we did, and as you can tell, I put a lot of more extreme answers. So I think it comes through that. When it's asking about explosive stuff like that, I usually answered low. So that's why I got low on action, creativity. And as I said, achievement, I do not need to collect every collectible in the game. But I think this totally makes sense. I'm really high in social, immersion, and mastery. So I would say this is pretty accurate. And it's kind of helpful to think in those categories, of why I really like a game like Elden Ring that I can call my brother and talk about. There's a social element. We could play co-op. We haven't. But there's that mastery element, and there's that immersion. You get to create your own character. You get to make a lot of decisions. So I think it really defines why I like a lot of games that I like. So I do really like that. I wonder what this shows secondary motivations. Ooh, okay. Community. This is more the bard element, I'm guessing. But it's pretty similar. Same kind of primary facets. And yeah, so let me see. It's going through each of these. So in terms of each of the 6 different components, or each of the 6 different traits, I guess we'll quickly go through which one I'm more emphasized in. So excitement over destruction. I would agree with that. I would agree with that for sure. Social, yeah, definitely. I'm really into the community aspect. Not so much a competitive guy. Not against it. Sometimes I'll watch, the esport of a game I'm interested in at the time or whatever, but it's not like I love the competition element. Mastery, that's interesting that I'm actually really high in both challenge and strategy, because that's, it even mentions Dark Souls and Fire Emblem. Those are 2 games that I mentioned, right? So I think that totally makes sense that I'm high in both of challenge and strategy. Achievement, I'm low on both of those. We like that. We don't really care. Getting more power in an RPG, that's one thing, but completion, getting every single thing, getting every mount, that's not how I play. I just do what I think is fun, and for me, getting all those collectibles, sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to do the grind. Creativity. I like how I'm a little higher on discovery. I do like Minecraft. I've enjoyed it, but I'm not like super deep into the building, stuff like that. And then design. I'm not someone who takes a lot of time in the character creation process, so that makes sense. It's low. Immersion. These are 2 that I'm high in both. I like, I think that totally makes sense. These are games I mentioned. So Elder Scrolls, Skyrim and Mass Effect. Those are games that I enjoy kind of becoming a different character, things like that. And then I also enjoy getting into the backstories. Dragon Age and Mass Effect, they mentioned those again. Love those games. So I think it makes sense I'm high in both and a little higher on that immersion fantasy element. Okay, yeah, so I actually really enjoy this. I wonder if they have any... Let's click on Elden Ring and see what happens. Maybe it's a little too new. Oh, no. But they actually have suggestions for people similar to you, what their favorite games were or what games they were enjoying. So I actually think that's really interesting. I might try to get into that. Maybe in another video. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Really, let me know if you take this profile and find anything interesting, or if you just want to tell me what your gamer identity is, what your motivations are, why you enjoy games, and let me know if it speaks to you, or if it totally doesn't, let me know that too, because maybe it's good information that it's not helpful. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I hope that I see you and hear you in the comments in this video and in future videos. Take care.